All right, so we're just going to quick go over some of the stats. So what is for a listing, like what is a good conversion rate, or does it matter by category? Like I know there's kind of some contingencies here, but like people are going to look at their conversion rate and, like that's a good metric to like at least kind of judge.
It's literally different across the board. So in not even just like a broader category like electronics or health and household, like it is down to the product market. So like fish oil again, or Love Seat, like everything is different. I would say maybe a general rule of thumb, somewhere around 12%, somewhere around 20%. But again, every market is so different. So if you're around 20%, that's probably pretty good.
Okay.
That's probably really good. Again, it just depends.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, one of my friends he had like a 42% conversion on it.
That's like insane, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so you want to get that. I mean, in general, it's always different. I mean, clothes, good luck. Women, everybody looks at a lot of clothes before they buy something.
One thing to make note here of in conversion rate is you also have to pay attention to sessions, right? So I've seen someone where they're like, I'm charging 3 times more than my competitors. My conversion rate is like 40%. Like, should I keep raising my price? But what they weren't paying attention to is how many sessions they were getting, right? So, yeah. You could have 100% of one session, right? One sale, but you would much rather have a 10% conversion rate on 1 million sessions.
Yeah. So then we talked about this earlier. So you don't really think that conversion rate has to do with ranking, right?
Not the actual stat conversion rate. If you're converting, then you're selling.
Okay, so the conversion rate of your whole listing is irrelevant, right. Kind of.
Yeah.
But
the better you convert, the more sales you have, so the better you rank.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
But but maybe the way it works is if you convert through a keyword well, they show you for that keyword.
Because you sold a unit, not because your conversion rate is a specific metric.
Oh, really?
So if your conversion rate was 75%, but you're selling 30 units a day, and the guy next to you has a conversion rate of 10%, but he's selling 30 units a day, I think it's going to...
okay, so you can have a terrible conversion rate, but as long as you make enough sales on that keyword, you'll continue to rank.
Right, yes.
Okay, so that's really interesting, because I always thought that it was different than that. But, okay, so perhaps people could trickle in. So do you have clients that will trickle in sales then if they start to dip for that keyword, even though they don't have the best product or ranking, but they just kind of use it to juice?
That's what we call like a maintenance launch.
Okay.
So we talked about giving away for 7 days to get your ranking, and then sometimes we'll like trickle those sales in, maybe 5 units a day, maybe 10 units a day, whatever you need in maintenance mode to make sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But I don't suggest a maintenance mode. Get your listings so that you don't need that. Unless you're in something super competitive, then I could see that it would make sense that, okay, you need to do that.
Yeah.
But like, if you're having to do maintenance mode, you probably got to check your stuff first. Okay, we're going to talk about review rate quick. So when we talk about review rate, I mean, of the people that buy, like what is a good percentage to get feedback, and what did it used to be and what is it now? Where do you see it going in the future?
Are you using email follow-up sequences or no?
Well, let's just say without.
Without email follow-up sequences, I think the general rule of thumb is like somewhere around 1%, maybe lower. If you are using email follow-up sequences, again, depending on the product, depending on the market, 2% maybe.
Oh, that's okay.
But
I mean, that's double the reviews, so worth it.
Yeah. Right, and I think that every review counts. So I've seen plenty of people unsubscribing from email follow-up sequences because it's like hardly sending any, you're hardly getting any reviews, but literally if you were getting 1 review more per month, it's worth it. Reviews are like the currency on Amazon right now. We definitely see some products getting around 3%, some around 5%. If you're at 5%, that's awesome. If you're anything higher, then that's amazing.
Okay, awesome. So then, so I remember we talked about this earlier, but so reviews have nothing to do with ranking?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But they help to drive more sales, which helps to drive more.
Yeah, okay. So they help your conversion rate. You get sales on that keyword, you rank. But the actual, you don't think that, because I guess, I've seen things with 0 reviews on page 1.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you want to know like what's a good star rating on your product. So and is there a certain rate where like 4.5 to like 5 doesn't really make a difference, but like if you drop below a certain rate that you really start to get affected on like your listing?
So every market is different. Again, you basically at the end of the day, you always want to be better than your direct competitors.
Okay, so you just need to comparatively be better.
There's some, I have a friend, he sells this product, like naturally people just do not completely understand the product. And so they buy it thinking it's something else. And he's tried to do all kinds of education. He's literally said, it is not this. People continue to buy it. Like, he has just high return rates, but he knows his competitors do as well, right?
Oh, okay.
And so you always have to be shooting to be, well, as good as possible and beating your competitors, essentially. But so there's some markets where the average review rate is 4 stars.
Yeah, I've seen that, yep.
But so like
external hard drives, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So like you want to be ideally over 4. So Amazon, in some instances I've seen where you can automatically filter to only 4-star and above products. So if you're at that 3.9, now you're missing the cut. But like every little bit of star rating that you drop, so if it's like 4.6 stars, Amazon will show it as 4.5 stars. Like if you lost that little half, then that can have an impact. Yeah, you really need to just be shooting. Like, one thing I've had people ask me so much is like, do you really have to have a good product? The answer is yes.
Yeah,
right? Like,
right?
If you don't, you're gonna get bad reviews, and if you have bad reviews, you're not gonna sell. Like, you need to be providing these people with good value. And I mean, at a moral level, like, come
yeah,
on,
right?
guys. Like,
exactly.
yeah.
Okay, all right, that's great. So in summary, you just got to be better than the comparative. So it's going to change in every single market.
Yep.
All right, awesome, thank you. All right, so now we're talking about email follow-ups. And so in case said in the last video, you get like a 2% review rate versus a 1% if you send them. So, but the most important thing is you got to get people to click to open it, otherwise they're never going to leave it. So what is the most, like, have you seen like certain titles that open well?
Yeah, so we've split test thousands of email follow-up sequences, and the number one takeaway is, so we send our first email on delivery, right? And the number one thing is you have to use the word Amazon in your subject line, because a lot of people still think that they're buying these products directly from Amazon. They're not aware of third-party sellers. Even if they are, they forget, they don't usually know what your actual brand is. They know that they just bought the product from Amazon. So we always make sure that we have Amazon in the header, and we pique their interest in so much as, is there something wrong with your Amazon order? Or, did your Amazon order get there today with a question mark? Something so they're like, I wonder if everything's okay with my Amazon order.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's how we get them to read.
Okay, awesome. And then I'll show you guys a tip with what Brian told me from his data, as the best email opening title was, "Do you remember me?" So do you remember me? And the second best one for them was, "Hey." That's what gets people to open, apparently, for his email software. But yeah, take that and then take what Casey said and try out for yourself. That's the only way you'll know. And then, yeah, so then what about like review email sequences? Is it like, are there certain like 2 or 3?
Yeah, so we normally send 2, one on delivery and then one. Again, it depends on the product. They need to have tried it, but we send it 6 days later, and that's where we indirectly kind of ask for a review. And again, we've split tested thousands of emails. We've tried everything from 4 email sequences, directly asking for a review. Like, we send it on generally the 6th day, tactfully asking for a review, I guess.
Okay, nice. So, yeah. But it's pretty hard to pry a review out of people.
Yeah.
Just
in
general. Yeah. Okay, well, thanks that we got some good data on all of that stuff, and we'll move on to the next thing.